A project to expand a homeless shelter in Hyannis gets a boost from the state. Town Council votes to support expanding the housing court, and we get a look at sports with Brennan McCubry. These stories on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, May 16th, 2014. I'm Sarah Mantle. The State Department of Housing and Community Development is committing at least $175,000 towards the effort to create a day shelter for the homeless in downtown Hyannis. Currently, the NOAA Shelter is only open at night, leaving those who use that service out on the street all day. Elizabeth Worthbane with the Main Street Business Improvement District updated Town Council during last night's meeting.
NOAA and Duffy have agreed to evolve and refine their existing institutions and come together and keep the shelter open all day long. So as of next Thursday, you will see the NOAA shelter open all day long, so people will have a place to go. There will be services within the shelter, so it's going to become much more of a smart institution rather than just beds. And to go with these services, the chief has opened up a community impact unit with 3 officers that will be dedicated to Main Street and to the issues that we see around the street. So I think, and that's starting next Wednesday, I believe we will see a market improvement, in what we have been frustrated about. The new shelter will also evolve into a new facility that will be much more improved, have a totally different mentality and orientation, such as being dry, having rules, engaging engaging the members to participate in their own recovery. Whereas now what you see is much more prevention based. What we will seek in the future will be recovery based. So a completely different mentality. Of course, it's very expensive. So yesterday we went to Boston, a group of us, in a little putt-putt, and we obtained between $175,000 and $200,000 from the state for this effort. So we're really excited about it.
Officials say this funding could mean a basic form of a new day shelter could be up and running this year. Town Council backs an effort to expand the housing court. Town Attorney Charlie McLaughlin says expanding the housing court could help to reinforce the problem property ordinances passed by Town Council.
I was approached by my old college roommate, who is chair of the Access to Justice Commission that is located on Beacon Hill. Jim Van Buren is a longstanding lawyer, and he and others have been working with the Mass Bar Association and other groups to expand the jurisdiction of the housing court to statewide, to cover areas that are not currently covered. I believe when this was first on in front of you, there was a handout that we had prepared and passed on to us and prepared for you. But there are a host of communities in the Commonwealth, including many in Suffolk and Middlesex County, but more relevantly to our interests, all of the Cape and Islands are not covered with the housing court. And the theory behind the expansion of jurisdiction here, i.e. creating housing courts on the Cape and Islands and other parts of the Commonwealth that are missing, is that the housing courts traditionally have done a wonderful job in handling, obviously, landlord and tenant issues, but also municipal enforcement issues. And coincidentally, just in terms of the problem properties ordinances that you folks spent so much time on, we find, frankly, that if you have a property owner who wishes to be compliant, the current ticketing system that our folks over in building hand out for compliance issues, if you get a compliant property owner, they pay the civil fine and vow not to do it again, and 99% of them don't. But when you run into property owners who game the system, who know how slow things are to respond if you actually get forced into the court system, i.e. the district courts. We've seen properties, for example, on C Street where problems identified early, or just about this time of year when the college kids arrive. It's obviously going to be a problem property. By the time we get into a district court hearing with a judge, the kids are long gone. They're back in Ireland, they're back in Europe, or wherever they're going back to, and we are trying to chase a landlord for $100 or $200 or $500 fine, and it's treated by some as a cost of doing business. The district courts are so swamped with work that is critically important, very, very serious criminal matters, all of which have very tight timelines associated with them, that getting in front of a district court judge for a truly contested matter is quite problematic in any kind of a time-sensitive matter. Secondly, the district courts don't have equity jurisdiction, and by that I mean they can't issue injunctions, either prohibiting certain actions or mandating certain actions. It's true that the Superior Court does have that jurisdiction currently, and if we have a true out-and-out emergency, we can go over to Superior Court and get some relief. But they too are swamped. Their staff is short. They're shorthanded as far as staff is concerned, and it's very difficult with all of the backlog of cases, civil and otherwise, and criminal, that they have to process, that getting over there and getting kind of the quick relief that we would like to have is very problematic. The housing court has a group of specialists. The judges are obviously experts in the area, but as are the staff. And we think it's a terrific opportunity if the legislature can find its way to fund this expansion and to have a regional visiting judge or judges down visiting with us in perhaps Falmouth and Barnstable, maybe the Lower Cape, certainly the islands, and getting matters in front of judges in a timely fashion and getting resolutions to cases, no matter how they come out, whether it's landlord in favor, tenant in favor, or in our case, again, the municipal interest. Getting a quick resolution is desirable. That old saying, justice delayed is justice denied, is a real problem as we try and work with communities and neighborhoods to get effective relief.
Town Councilor Jen Cullum also urged the council to support the expansion of the housing court.
Well, remember the problem properties ordinances that we worked really hard on passing, and this is the missing piece to that entire problem. And being from a neighborhood that suffers from problem properties, I can tell you that the fact that things are not adjudicated in a relatively quick manner means people get away with it constantly and reoffend and reoffend and reoffend. In the 8 years that I've lived on C Street, the same houses every year have packed kids in, and they pay the fine and they just move on, and they don't take the neighborhood seriously, and the neighborhood needs to be taken seriously. It's a real quality of life issue, and I think that this is an excellent way to put teeth in the ordinances that we passed, and I'm asking for your support on this. I think it's very important. Thank you.
Town Council also ultimately voted unanimously to support that move. The High Arts Artist Shanties at Bismore Park officially opened for the season this morning. Throughout the course of the summer, more than 70 Cape Cod artists will occupy the 7 colorful shanties, frequently working on their crafts right at their seaside studio. Shanties are open Fridays through Sundays in May and June, and 7 days a week starting on June 23rd. Artwork varies through the season, and over a dozen mediums will be featured. A new Singer Spotlight series featuring local artists will be held Saturday nights in July and August. Shanty doors opened at 11 this morning. Now let's get a look at sports with Brenna McCoubry.
Good afternoon, Barnstable. I'm Brenna McCoubry, here to bring you the latest on New England and Red Raiders sports. Tonight, the Boston Red Sox host the Detroit Tigers at Fenway Park. First pitch will be thrown at 7:10, and John Lester has the start on the mound for the Sox. The team has recently moved up to third in the Eastern Division. Taking a look at Red Raiders sports, started at 5 was boys varsity volleyball, taking on New Bedford at Barnstable High School Gymnasium. That's all for New England and Red Raiders sports this afternoon. Here on Barnstable Today, I'm Brenna McCoubry.
Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On Monday's show, we'll chat with Town Manager Tom Lynch and Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Mary Schakowsky. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.